Uh, Evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yes, my good name is Nicholas, but most people call me Nick. Yes, and we are coming live from Nairobi. We are coming live from Nairobi. That is our residence today, being on 50, 5th January 2025. It's an amazing day, and today I feel a bit exhausted. All in all, we're gonna be doing this video today. It's an amazing video that I've been eager to do, but I keep on. Yes, I keep on pushing it. Reduce your volume. I keep on pushing on it. But today I decided to do it. So welcome to today's video. As the title suggests, there are so many occasions that we feel we feel like we are not loved. We feel like we are invisible in the society. We feel like we are invisible in the family or in any place that you found yourself in. There are so many times that we feel that we are out of space, that it's like we are not recognized. It's like we don't exist. It's like our thoughts and our imagination, no, our thoughts, our decisions, or our contributions to the decision making, they are not considered. But today, I want us to talk about few points or few things that make us feel like we are not loved or we are not valued in our community. And yes, baba, hakuna kitu. Nakufungulia. Let us just continue, Daddy. I was saying we're going to be talking about some of the things that make us feel like we are not loved in the society and what to do to overcome that feeling. And I want to start with the first thing that I think that is according to me. I think sometimes if you experience this, you might think that you're not loved, or maybe you're not acknowledged at where you are. And my point number one would be lack of an acknowledgement. Most times, sometimes we feel unloved when we are not acknowledged. Maybe you've done something that thing is not acknowledged. Maybe your contribution is not acknowledged, and in that case, you might feel like, maybe these people don't love me, maybe I'm not valued, yeah, maybe I don't exist, maybe I'm not here. And what I can say about this fact about acknowledgement is, how do you deal with that? Most of the times we ask ourselves, how will I deal with acknowledgement? And I would say, what is it? I would say, advocate for yourself, and advocate for yourself, and show your contributions. And if possible, if you fall down and you break your leg, who will take you to hospital? That I don't want that kind of that kind of game. Sawa. And stop me doing some things when I'm doing my video. I don't know what's wrong with you. So I was saying, um, how do you deal with lack of acknowledgement, or what will you do in situations whereby you don't feel acknowledged? And I would say, advocate for yourself and also show your contributions. Yeah, you advocate yourself by showcasing your contributions, and also talk freely with the people that are around you about how you're feeling. Maybe sometimes you might be in a situation whereby you feel like you're not acknowledged, but it is only you who is feeling that. So that is why I can advise people, or I can say, talk freely with the people that are around you, and express your feelings. Tell them, hey man, come, you guys, you're not seeing me. What is it? What is it that you're looking for here? Now stop doing that, daddy. So another key point, um it is a constant criticism. Most times when you're criticized, maybe you've done something and then there are negative thoughts about that thing. Maybe there are some negative thoughts, or some negative things about you. Maybe they are criticizing you. Let me use an example of physical appearance. Maybe somebody is criticizing you because you're too dark, or because of your some deformations on your body, or some disabilities on your body. Sometimes you might feel that you're not loved because people are criticizing you. People are saying negative things about you. People are saying things that don't making you happy. Then how will you deal with that situation? Uh, Point number one, according to me, you need to create boundaries. You need to create boundaries, and also you need to tell people that you don't really love when they criticize you in that manner. Or you create boundaries, and also you always find yourself in an environment where people are appreciating you. Huh? Find yourself in an environment where people are where people are not criticizing you. That is one way of um, dealing with criticism. When people criticize you, first thing is draw boundaries. You need to make it feasible to them. You need to make it to make them understand that what they are saying is not resonating well with you. What they are saying, or whatever they are saying, or whatever the criticism is, it is not sitting well with you. And you need to draw boundaries, and also find yourself, or always be in an environment where people are appreciating you. Another one that another key point that you might feel unloved is when you're isolated, or you're excluded. And I can give an example, and a good example is in a professional uh, in a professional in a professional way. Maybe you work in an office. You work in an office whereby your colleagues, per se, I would say, like your decisions, or maybe when people are doing planning of a social gathering, family gathering, or a decision making, you're isolated, you are excluded. As in, nobody will bother to tell you. Or maybe in a family, let me give an example of a family whereby maybe something happens in the family, and the attention of the kids, is needed. And because maybe your brother is a bit wealthy, let me use that example because it sits well with Africans. It sits well with African. Maybe one family member is very wealthy. Well, that family member has everything. So every time a decision has to be made, believe me not, you won't be even be included in the decision making. They will isolate you, they will exclude you. A decision will be made when you're not there, and you can't question anyone. And you can't question that one happens mostly in African families, whereby people the those family members who are less in terms of resources, they are not wealthy, or they don't have money. They are isolated, they are excluded. They are mostly excluded. They are mostly excluded. Now it happens a lot. So how will you deal with how will you deal with the with isolation? When you feel isolated, I I think you should my thinking is you should seek you should seek how you should engage with other people and seek new connections. That is, you should not bother yourself with those people isolating you. It is high time for you to look for a group that will accommodate you, and not a group that will criticize you. See, that will help you not to feel isolated. Because if you find yourself in that group whereby you're of the same class, or you're same type, or same group, you won't even feel you won't feel that kind of isolation. And I would say another thing that makes people feel unloved, it's lack of support. This happens when lack of support. This happens maybe on a family setting. On a family setting, you come up with the idea, then you tell this idea to your spouse, and then your spouse ignores you, like you're not there, like whatever what you've said does not add up. What you said, what you've told him, or the idea that you've shared with your partner, that idea is not put into consideration, or maybe he surpassed it. He didn't even listen. And what I would say about how to deal with that situation is just to build on a reliable support network, or reliable friends, or maybe you talk it out. Another way of dealing with this feeling of unloved is to express yourself. Maybe at sometimes when you feel you ignored, or you feel that you're not valued by the people that are around you, it is your it is your duty to speak it out. Even if you love just to command it, it is very crucial to speak it out. Because when you speak it out, because when you speak it out, the other partner will realize, maybe I've been ignoring this person, or maybe I've been doing this and this and this, and this thing is not sitting up well with my partner. So let me try to change, and it might change. May I think we live in a world of possibilities whereby everything is very okay. Sometimes you might be feeling ignored, but you're not. but this feeling might be in your mind only. But when you see like you consistently putting out your ideas or putting out your views, and those views are not put into consideration, then it is your high time. It is your high time to speak it out. It is your high time to speak it out to that person you've been sharing your idea with, or to that group whereby you feel you're ignored. And the most effective way to speak it out, the most effective way it's to speak it out. Another one I would say, another point I would say of being taken for granted. Maybe, maybe you've done something or taken for granted. Maybe it happens when you're valued, when you're valued when you're giving out something. Hmm? And people, they really don't love you for who you are. They love you for what you can do, you see. Hmm? That is what I call taken for granted. Taken for granted yeah, only happens when people, they don't really value you for who you are. They only value you for what you can what you can offer what you can offer, or what you can give. And I would say, how will you deal with this situation? I would say, avoid one-sided kind of relationship, but really be yourself in every situation that you found yourself in. Another one is, it's emotional neglect. And that is emotional negligence, when your emotions are neglected. That is one way. This happens mostly to ladies. This emotional thing happens to ladies mostly because only ladies suffer with emotions. It, to men, it happens in rare occasions. In rare occasions. And what I would say, what I love to say about the emotional negligence is, build on your self love, and also express your needs to those around you. Another point of that might make you not feel loved is favorism, and this is negative favorism, especially when others are favored and you're not favored. Maybe you feel like you're not favored, but the people around you are favored. See, that one might trigger that feeling of being unloved. So what will you do if you feel unloved, or if you feel unfavored? I would say, um, I would say, focus on your strength, and maybe prove them wrong. You can prove them that even if you guys, you're favoring these people on this field, then you also need to favor me on this other field. The another one is negative energy around you. Kyle, what are you coming to do here? Hmm? Toka hapo. How do you do with negative energy around you? How do you deal with negative energy around you? Just minimize contact. Minimize contact when those people are negative about you. Just minimize contact on that, on contact on those people, and mostly people who are toxic. There are people who are toxic in nature, and there are people who will always talk negative about you. And then the last one that I will talk about is this happens in the professional fields. And what happens in professional fields is like frequent
ile pesa kadogo
eh?
pesa kadogo
Pesa gani? Sinikupa pesa yako yote.
yote nasema sijui ya ile ni kwa wapi.
The last one is I'll talk about is frequent blames, and this happens in professional fields, whereby in your departments, when something happens, even if it was not you, you will eventually be blamed. And how do you deal with this? When you notice, sorry, when you notice such thing is happening, what you actually need to do is you need to be investigative and raise the alarm to the superiors or the people that are around you in your department. Maybe if it happens at a place of work, take note of all the blames that have been coming to you, then raise it on a general meeting or when you're doing evaluations, and I think that one will be sorted out, right? And that is all for today, so let's meet tomorrow.